As expected, after the pandemic began to decline, the question more and more sharply arises of what kind of a strange virus it is, where it came from and how it happened that he put the whole world on his shoulder blades, and for this he needed only 3 months of active distribution. A pool of countries is gradually being formed, which is increasingly advocating for an independent, international investigation of everything related to the coronavirus, its rapid global attack, and indeed, very unusual properties. Today, the list of countries that are demanding an investigation includes already 62 countries, but joining more countries is a matter of time. The stubbornness of China, which flatly refuses to provide an opportunity to investigate the incident, only gives energy to those who consider the virus artificially modified. Moreover, it is no secret that a number of Chinese research groups, including the infamous Wuhan Institute of Virology, worked closely and for a long time with coronaviruses very related to what caused the pandemic. The assumption that the virus that hit the world just left the Wuhan laboratory can only be refuted by a commission check of both the laboratory itself and the entire research program that was conducted there. But this is precisely what China does not want categorically, and the initiators of such an investigation threaten with almost a severance of economic ties. But the process does not stand still, and instead of 2 or 3 countries that first raised this topic a month ago, there are already several dozen of them, and there will be even more. And what is most unpleasant for China, conspiracy theories in which China appears as the direct culprit of the pandemic and as the creator of the killer virus, only gaining momentum. So, the French edition of Le Monde has already begun its journalistic investigation, and right now, when only the first part has been published, it does not look good for China. At least, interviews are given to interviews by world-renowned experts, for example, Luc Montagnier, a Nobel laureate in medicine, and besides, journalists collect public statements of foreign experts and prominent political figures who have access to national intelligence data. All this together, at least, allows for the possibility that China's guilt is not limited to suppressing information and falsifying statistics. In this regard, it is interesting how the world press begins to lay out the situation itself and the properties of the virus on the shelves. It is possible that this is only the beginning of the process, which in the end will give a result, and the truth will be found without the participation of China. In general, China acts in the old Soviet paradigm, when having done something monstrous, there they pretended that nothing had happened. This is especially true for the Russian Federation and China, since now only people who are specifically interested in this issue know how many people were killed by the communists in this country. Or here is another indicator. The massacre that Cambodian Butcher Pot carried out in Cambodia is remembered by many, but the fact that his movement was based on Mao's ideas has somehow been forgotten. They also forgot that the current leadership of China is the direct ideological heirs of the great helmsman, and they will kill 1 million or 10 million people that you'd blink an eye. In small Cambodia, even that, the number of victims went to millions. Thus, the coronavirus, or rather, the Chinese virus, raises many questions, the answers to which are beginning to be sought in various parts of the world, and this process can give completely unexpected results. So, the publication Al Arabia collected open data on the properties of the virus and selected the most strange ones in making the virus some kind of indestructible monster. According to the publication, the virus survives at high temperature. According to a French study, coronavirus can withstand prolonged exposure to high temperatures, and although high temperatures significantly reduce the effectiveness of coronavirus, it is still able to multiply. That is, it is able to start a new round of infection in its host, only after scientists heated the coronavirus to a temperature of 92 degrees Celsius for 15 minutes. COVID-19 was completely deactivated, stays alive for long in the cold. According to a medical expert from the Cleveland Abu Dhabi clinic in the UAE, coronavirus can last up to 2 years at temperatures below zero. Studies of similar strains of coronavirus have shown that, in general, coronaviruses are stable at freezing temperatures and have been shown to survive for 2 years at a temperature of -20 degrees Celsius, explained Dr. Mohammed Moody, head of the Department of Infectious Diseases at the Medical Specialized Institute at the Cleveland Clinic in Abu Dhabi. Can live in the human eye. According to a Chinese study, coronavirus can live in the patient's eye for several days after it is no longer detected in the nose. When talking, drops of COVID-19 fly into the air. According to a study in the USA, droplets of liquid ejected from people's mouths when talking loudly in a confined space can cause the coronavirus to remain in the air for up to 14 minutes. Researchers have found that loud speech can produce thousands of drops of saliva per second. survives on certain surfaces. According to the Cleveland Clinic, coronavirus can last from 3 hours to several days on some surfaces, depending on the material. Glass, 5 days. Tree, 4 days. Plastic and stainless steel, 3 days. Cardboard, 24 hours. Copper, 4 hours. The same publication, based on its own sources and taking into account the ratios of infected, recovered and uninfected people in different countries, gives its forecasts, in particular on the final decline in circulation in different countries. So, according to Al Arabiya, the epidemic should end in USA, September 23rd, with a hidden initial period of 65 days, Germany, August 4th, with a hidden initial period of 48 days, United Kingdom, August 20th, with a hidden initial period of 25 days, South Korea, June 29th, with a hidden initial period of 23 days, Italy, August 18th, with a hidden initial period of 65 days, Spain, July 6th, with a hidden initial period of 22 days, Ukraine, July 26th, with a hidden initial period of 15 days. As far as all this corresponds to reality, we leave it to the conscience of the editorial staff of the publication. But it is important that while there was a sharp increase in the number of infected, and followed by an increase in mortality, there was neither time nor energy to ask similar questions. But now the moment has come, comprehension of both the essence of what is happening and the damage already suffered and that which will inevitably have to be incurred. What else is important to notice? In this situation, it is unlikely that some large country, such as the United States, will be needed to consolidate a large coalition of countries that can rigidly raise the issue with China. As we recall, Australia was the first and most acute question, and there are countries that have suffered the most severe losses in terms of population, for example, Belgium. So it is still unknown how these countries will behave when everyone there will leave the hospitals and bury all the dead. The process is just beginning.